Thanks for making yourselves available at short notice, but this is an important matter which already is not being reported properly because of the complexity, I suppose, of some of these things. So we thought we should have this quick briefing with you, have the same understanding of what this is about. In the first instance, some of the TV headlines is saying tax laws deferred or postponed or put off or whatever. The 2015 Tax Laws Amendment Act has, in that act, in the first instance, all the budget proposals from February 2015. So those cover hedge funds, hybrid funds, estate duty, security transfers tax, and a whole lot of other matters as well. So when we say, if you say tax laws are postponed, then we're saying all of this is postponed. And then we're not reporting accurately. The first point to be made is that the Tax Laws Amendment Act has a number of provisions, many of which have nothing to do with retirement reform. The second point to be made is that in the 2015 Tax Law Amendment Act, there are two, and maybe a third one as well, but there's two matters that relate to retirement reform. The first is that it adds certain funds that were originally not added on as a result of some oversight. And the second is the issue of what technically Mr. Momoniat and his team will call the de minimis rule, which is when does the provision of annuitization kick in? Originally, in the previous legislation, it was at 75,000 rands. As a result of representations from the trade unions, this was increased to 247,000 rand 500. Right? That means that there's a lot more leeway before you're required to actually buy a retirement annuity and get an annuity income for yourselves. The third thing I want to clarify is why are we undertaking this effort at postponement? As a result of the signing of the Act and the debates that took place before the signing of the Act, there's a lot of confusion in the minds of people affected by both pension funds and provident funds. In fact, the confusion extends to the point where, in fact, pension fund members are not impacted by any of these changes. But the confusion has created a mindset in some people's instances where members of pension funds feel that they are going to be affected as well. So we need to clarify that this has nothing to do with pension funds. This has nothing to do with government employees that belong to the government employees pension fund. So whether you're a teacher, a nurse, or a civil servant, none of these provisions actually impact upon you at all. It is this confusion and the need for further clarity in the minds of people who will be affected by these changes that led us to believe that it is appropriate to postpone one element only of the framework for retirement reform that has been proposed since. Let me clarify that again, that there's only one element that is being postponed, and that element is the annuitization element, which means that you are no longer required and will no longer be required once the law is amended to buy a retirement annuity if you've accumulated 247,000, well, in this instance, 248,000 and more, as of the 1st of March 2016. And remember that this is new money that is accumulated. All those that have accumulated money in their provident funds up to the 1st of March 2016 are still entitled to what are called their vested rights. They withdraw them as they withdrawn them before. They retire as they retired before. They get their lump sums as they are as they have been receiving it before. Nothing changes as far as the old money that is in this set of provident funds that workers would be contributing to. It is only after you accumulate 247,500 rands and beyond that the requirement for annuitization comes in. And it is that element which, once the law is passed by Parliament, will be postponed to the 1st of March 2018. Now, there's an additional benefit that was provided for Provident Fund contributors, which in, again, technical terms you would read as tax harmonization. And that additional benefit is that when you contribute to a pension fund, you get a tax deduction. And that tax deduction is was restricted only to pension fund members. That privilege of a tax deduction as part of this package was extended to Provident Fund members. And that kicks in from the 1st of March 2016 as well. There is no postponement of that provision. So, in fact, workers benefit as a result of the tax deduction provision for Provident Fund contributors being introduced from the 1st of March 2016. Now, the importance of this for the discourse that we have in the way you write your reports or articulate your reports is that this is not changing one line that changes everything. There's a nuancing here that is absolutely important for workers that are affected to A, understand, and B, understand our intent and what exactly the amendment bill that we will be attempting to get through Parliament shortly actually addresses in this particular instance.